over tonight. Before they could brightly and at least put in a few hours of that right kind of stuff. For Carolyn, their left-handed savant. Dixie, who was rightly upset she couldn't steal any packages, had left the room. By the right door to try to think of ways she could steal the right gift from the right person at the right time. Dirty Santa was an institution they should have left alone. She muttered to Gail, who pretended not to hear her moving off to her right, shaking her head, left and right. Left to the realization
I'm so confused. I don't know which way to go.
nobody rightly cared. Dixie got up and went to the right side of the dessert table, bumping right into David Shea, who's actually standing up there, who was deliberating if the roast beef had had the right seasoning.
Sounds like something I would do.
Dixie then cut a piece of pie with her right hand and placed it on the right side of the plate, which left room for the last piece of lemon cake to keep Claire, who, according to Terry, was not often in the right frame of mind, from having it. Vicky M. was looking to draw the right letters for Scrabble on her iPhone. Jason was texting in his fantasy pics with his right hand while eating with his left.
John knows way too much about us.
After refilling her drink, Dixie left to go to the table and sit right next to John, who was listening to Jody and Jenny, who were on his left, retelling the story of how he was dropped into or left in the book drop right after he was born. Definitely dropped and hard right on the left side of his brain. Jenny said. About this time, Karen M. was discussing the right way to care for goats. Claire. Caroline was in the right frame of mind.
Box down.
You're out, you drop.
Damage present.
Listening to Merle singing White Christmas. And Joan was in the right corner. Goodness, this was heavy. Discussing clowning with Linda and Sandra. Right near to where Bonnie was left, talking to her right.
Nuh-uh. You.
Had left.
Woo, this makes me hot.
See, and Jason, it is getting warm in here. Somebody turn that bar
I got it,
on.
I got it. It's going down.
Just throw that over.
Dr. Peterson, she's having tablets had phenomenal. I guess it's hard to keep us all happy.
Hurry, Vicky, hurry. We have to turn our fireplace off. Really, that's fine here. Okay, thanks.
All right, where was I?
Vicky's wrong name.
With Karen C. and Jason out the left door to talk about nooks and compatibility issues with ebooks. Bonnie, feeling snubbed, left. The right corner past the right-handed handyman who was fixing the blinds with his right hand. Oh, this is cute. And touching up the right window. Sill. Paint with his left hand. Laura and Pat watched, shaking their heads. Uh-oh. Just to the left. In amazement. Now, if we could just clone him, Pat said. Being rightly disposed and in the festive mood, Coley had worn her favorite Santa costume. But she had left.
Not fair. I did too. But hey,
Being
Santa works.
too hot
Not being too hot.
and shaking her head left. To right. About all these right-minded people left Christmas out of the party. Where was Holly? Candy canes and stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. Where was Holly? Candy canes and stuff. Terry was at least standing under, well, actually a bit to the left of a sprig of mistletoe. Meanwhile, Marie was chatting with Lindsay, who was texting her husband about the party. Marie was describing how one would actually look if one looked right. Which most people looked out of place, whether right or not. Lindsay then left, shaking her head to the left, and the right. Jason had re-entered the room from the right door. They found Carolyn discussing with John the right way for the Chiefs to play football. It was right about this time. Or almost right then. When Dixie grabbed 2 unopened presents from the table and ran right out the right door. Past Kim yelling, "Pass right!" and left. On me, will you? As she went out, Coley came right back in, saying, "Look, Dave, it's snowing." And everyone turned to their left. Or their right. To watch the leftovers. Well, everyone except John, who still didn't look right. And Dixie, who was eyeing the room again for the right kind of present to steal.